I-V-M.
Alright, Simplified is where they take stories that you can't understand and make it even more difficult to understand. If you need that in your life, it's called marriage. Simplified, 3 young men with a mission. Their names, Chuck, Naren and Sriket. That's right, simplify their names first. Simplify. New episodes out on the IVM podcast website, app or wherever you get your podcast from. Kripaya dhyan dijiye, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative. Okay, cock and bull time once again. Still here in our partial lockdown avatars, all of us in separate homes, trying to be friendly and nice. Want to talk about restraint of trade. It's against all laws of the prevailing world other than North Korea and parts of Syria. Restraint of trade, huge issue with me. I can't think of anything worse in terms of crime over a long period of time. I speak of the urban phenomenon of selfish, self-centered, unbelievably disconnected people like myself, or people of my ilk, who live in high-rise buildings, etc., who just decided to get rid of everybody, throw everybody out, don't give a damn about anyone, and just self-preserve, save yourself. It just exposes the underbelly of our urban society, and I would like to spit on that society for 5 minutes, because I can't stand the way we've been treating everybody. After 3 months in lockdown, everybody needs to work. They need to have a chance to live and a chance to survive. We have to find a compromise in people, I hate the word maids, but help, people who assist you, services that are rendered, and no wink, wink, nudge, nudge there, as well as all kinds of providers in terms of coming and going in your building societies, in your house, in your car, with your old elderly parents, friends, aunts, whoever it is. All these people have been just swept aside as if they mean nothing. A whole sea of humanity just destroyed. So when we talk about migrants, let's not forget about them. And I talk from a legal point of view. I'm a 1-year LLB. Restraint of trade. You cannot stop them working. They have to work. And if you're so damn scared, stay in your house and don't leave it. Just stay in your house forever. Stay safe, as the government says. Now, who gives a damn? Just stay safe, but let others survive. We have a chance to survive. I have a dream, but that's a speech for another day. It's called Cock and Bull.
Beta, did you know 79% of all scientists in NASA are Indian only?
देखो, इंडिया में टैक्स सिर्फ मिडिल क्लास भरती है. Everyone is just enjoying free यार.
आजकल के youngsters are only interested in partying and enjoying. उनको देश की पड़ी ही नहीं है.
बेटा तुम बस शादी कर लो, उसके बाद तो you can enjoy life like anything.
I will tell you what this country needs. This country needs 15 years of dictatorship. That is the only way to become a superpower. See the Chinese, how much they've progressed.
सुनो, तुमने ये WhatsApp forward देखा?
So what's common between all of these statements?
They're all absolutely rubbish.
Fake WhatsApp forwards that spread like wildfire.
And statements that defy any logic.
We are here to debunk them all.
Way of family WhatsApp groups, worst nightmare. Where what happens when you read a book.
Basically, we are just a bunch of guys who want to cut through the bullshit of everyone saying this, how it won't be true.
So that the next time someone confidently squeezes out some WhatsApp or Twitter BS, you can look them dead in the eye and go, Uncle, please sit.
So join me, Joel,
and me, Tushar,
every Mondays for a fresh new episode of Uncle, Please Sit.
And we introduce after a long time our second producer ever in the history of the show, maybe third, the one and only Abbas, who has frozen.
Hi. No, I am moving, Cyrus. You have frozen.
No, it's okay. See, visually, you're not, or you are moving. But you were not that quick a mover.
Yeah, I wasn't very mobile to begin with, yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. You remind me of the ambassador car. Powerful, resolute, but not the fastest or swiftest in the bunch.
That's true.
It's coming from me, Abbas.
Also, they don't make more like me anymore.
No, they don't. Yeah. Because Mark IV, which is your brand, was the last of the Mohicans.
Yeah.
And while we're all laughing, there's Silverie in the background, also frozen in his girlfriend. What friend's house?
Let's go with girlfriend.
Going with girlfriend this week?
Yeah, why not?
I must say.
Go for it.
You're leading a full life while we are ranting and raving about the society. Literally. And Amit, is he frozen?
I don't think so. Am I frozen?
No.
Okay. So what's happening in my Wi-Fi world is everybody's moving at a very slow pace.
Yeah.
I guess that's okay.
Yeah, but I'm not. Otherwise, we would see you as like showing weak Wi-Fi. We're not seeing that really, and you're coming across to us quite well.
Yeah, because I live next to the chief minister. How dare you touch the Wi-Fi? It won't happen. 20 feet away from him as we speak. Of course, apparently he doesn't stay there. He goes back to another place.
The other places, the house in Bandra.
Leaves a huge mansion empty in the night. Where so many people are sleeping on the road and all can get a place to stay, but who am I to point fingers? Hey, Abbas, what's up with you, bro? Long time.
Yeah, I came here to visit my parents in March for 3 days. And it's been the longest weekend of my life since I came.
What are you saying? So coincidentally on that 20th, 21st weekend area you came?
I came here on the 17th of March thinking I'll hang here for like 3-4 days and then I'll go back. But then a lot of things happened in those 4 days. And
you don't have to remind us. Yeah. We're all part of the same collective that enjoyed that drama.
I don't think the Janta curfew is going away from anybody's mind anytime soon.
Never. I can't. Now all the bad breakups and failures in career and exams and all that mean nothing to me.
Exactly.
This has been the most horrendous period of all. Abbas, I've got some of the croissant that you left behind when you used to work with us. It's still here with me and I'm just holding on to it as a memory.
Yeah. I'm glad it's coming to someone's use.
So what set you off though? Why the restraint of trade rant?
You saw my building. By the way, my building's name is no longer Skylark. I call it Sissy Lark because now it's just a bunch of cowards. And I can't hold back anymore. I've tried, but the thing is that, I was thinking about this from what Shashi Tharoor, esteemed friend, a member of parliament, a person who trades barbs with me every 5 minutes, but in languages unbeknownst to me, so I just have to get it translated. He pointed out while we talk about the migrants and listen, no one's belittling that. That's terrible. What happened there and what's still happening.
Right.
But we forget about the sort of hidden migrants, which are the people. You remember the phrase charity begins at home, right? So we as urban upper class people or middle class people, we have a lot of people working for us or around us. And you must realize that at some point there had to be a collective responsibility about that as well. It can't just be about self-preservation. Oh, we have to stay at home. Or we all die. And all I was trying to do with these guys in the lane and the guys around us and all the buildings that we are all in is try and you can see that the fights are breaking out everywhere. Yeah. Is that we have to get the work to start. Now, find some kind of middle ground, find some sort of way where, people can work because it's restraint of trade. Those guys don't work 3-4 months, psychologically damages them, if not economically, and then sooner or later economically devastates them. Right. So it's pointless. How can we just turn away from that? Don't point fingers at the government and say, government, you do this, you do that. You're the government here. You are responsible for a lot of people. Those few 10, 15 people that we are responsible for then have families. What the hell are we doing? So I'm saying they're all sitting there, hiding behind their air-conditioned rooms and saying, okay, don't let them in, don't let your person in, don't let your person. But that person has got to survive.
Yeah.
We have to find a way.
But I agree completely, right? I mean, we've been having this drama going on in our building for the last 3 days as well. We have actually weird stories around this, right? So first, there was a big fight that happened about what's going to happen on June 8th. Are we going to let people in? Are we not going to let people in, right? And so then we sent a poll around to everybody, on 3 things you could vote. Are we going to let help in? Are we going to let guests in? People who are just coming to visit people in the society? And are we going to let overnight relatives come to stay with people inside the society? This was specifically somebody who wanted to have his sister come and stay with him for the rest of the lockdown, right? So it was that kind of thing, right? Yeah. So we agreed that overnight, people who want to come and live with people in the society can come, and we're going to start allowing help. Then over the last week, there have been a bunch of buildings in the area.
The Sagar Tarang and Tani Heights.
Tani Heights and
in our area.
Right across.
That's our area issue.
I know, yeah.
But everybody's got their Sagar Tarang, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No, right across my building as well, there's a building called Vandan, right, where it happened also, right, where 10, 12 cases showed up. Yeah. And over the last few days, people started freaking out. Now, we had this really weird situation where one of my uncles, he had a full-time help who was staying at his house, but my uncle was staying at his son's house near us. So we lost our help. So an offer was made that, would you like to have this guy come and stay with you? So he's closer to where my uncle is as well. So, and we were like, you know what, not a bad idea. We can kind of deal with it. Initially, building said yes, but then after that, building said, okay, now you have to go and get a doctor certificate that he does not have any kind of corona-like symptoms. Not saying that you must go and get a corona test done.
Negative.
But saying you get a doctor certificate saying that is basic. And it was just like...
Also get his SAT exam certificate and a CBSE board exam and everything else. It's ridiculous.
So we sent him back. We sent him to my uncle's house again. Because we're just like, dude, we can't do all this. Where are we going to find a doctor who's going to give us this kind of certificate right now? What doctor is going to say he doesn't have corona right now?
Look, that's what I'm saying, this knee-jerk reactions and the immediate reaction. They're not looking at it in perspective. That building gets it, finished. Change everything. Go and hide again. We are dealing with this. It's here to stay. We have to move forward. We have to try and be as careful as we can, and that's it. There's nothing more we can do. And
Agreed.
frankly, not to be insensitive, but there's a list of people I have made who, if COVID was to strike, I wouldn't completely lose sleep or, not eat mutton that day or something like that. I mean, I'm just saying. And again, not to be insensitive, because Silverie is a very touchy guy. He doesn't like all this. He gets angry. Why are you sitting in the dark? You look like one of those terrorist guys. It's like
I know, I can't help it. I just can't find a good angle.
Yeah, you're like an anonymous person in a documentary who doesn't
There
want to
it is.
reveal
Yeah,
his
yeah.
identity.
Yeah, or a drug addict, who won't reveal some celebrity drug addict. Yeah.
In the dark. I would speak with them. Oh my gosh, what is up?
Hey, Homer Simpson, can you just quickly clear this for those who are interested in the slightly less interesting part of the show, which is non-COVID? Are you with a lady friend or a male friend in another house?
I think
Simple question.
I'm at my friend Kashyap's place.
Oh, okay.
A Kashyap could be a surname, so that's not a problem.
No, Kashyap's a first name.
Kashyap is also like a caste, so it's possible. It's very
correct.
possible
That's true.
that he just throws out Kashyap, and then it's like Kumar. I mean, Kumar is the best name ever. Kumar first, second, whatever, male, female, nobody knows. I think it's beautiful. Well done.
I love how awkward he's getting right now.
Yeah. I'm still stuck. I'm still in the same boat. It's
He doesn't care about this podcast. He's just in such a happy place.
Yeah.
Because he's getting happy ending. Meaning every day is successful, and why do I even bother having now? Your mother hates me. First I called you Silverie, a name she opposed from the beginning.
So the thing is, my mother also forwards the podcast to relatives and all.
Oh,
Terrible.
God. Somewhere in Batinda, everybody's cursing. Yaar, Paji, dekh, beta kya kar raha hai? Who is saying Mumbai is positive? Okay.
Just before the podcast, we started recording, Abbas was telling us that his area is completely shut down as well. Like all grocery shops and all are also closed.
Yeah.
So what are you doing for groceries and all?
Baikala?
No, not Baikal. I'm in Bhiwandi. I'm in the
You're back
parents.
in Bhiwandi. It's very bad there now.
That's the thing. I mean, so far during the lockdown, during all of Ramzan, everything, it was like everywhere else. The essential shops were open. They were open from 7 in the morning till 5 in the evening. Everything was. Then this last week, the whole unlock 1.0 started happening. And then once the
Can you stop saying 1.0 and all this? It's not a Bruce Willis film. Where the terrorists are murdered in the end by one hero with a banyan or something. Come on. It becomes the brevity of the situation happens for me after some time also.
The unlock started happening, and apparently the number of cases here spiked in the last 4 days. So now there's a complete lockdown. Even the grocery shops and all are shut. The vegetable guy comes like every alternate day and everything. Only the medical stores are the ones which are open.
But Abbas, when is the last time you ate vegetables? What are you talking about?
I have to survive on whatever I have
Okay,
right
but
now.
listen. Are you saying it's a formal lockdown or just the reaction is lockdown?
No, it's a formal lockdown because the mayor of everybody got a text from the mayor of Bhiwandi saying that it's going to be shut for 15 days. There are police cars that patrol with the loudspeaker saying that things are going to be shut. So it's pretty official.
Why does Bhiwandi have a mayor?
District Thane.
District Thane, okay.
Yeah.
District Thane.
Yes.
All right. Oops. So that's a bit bad. Chennai, by the way, has gone back, as you probably know by now, to lockdown. So this is something again to prepare. Which may not be the worst thing to have a short lockdown and then open again, short lockdown.
I think we're going to see a series of those things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like where you're going to see like lockdowns and opens. You're going to see a series of this over the next few months, but hopefully, generally things start opening, right? That's what you want. You just want more general activity, just general kind of
and
stuff.
people trying to normalize without going berserk,
Yeah.
I think one of those buildings you mentioned, they had a private party with some 40 people or something, and people are pointing fingers at that party for allowing so many strangers to come in.
But then, I mean, that's dumbassery right
Yeah, that's
now,
what
no
I'm saying.
matter
So
what,
that was
right?
not taking it too far.
Yeah.
The only parties we are allowed are NCP, Congress, Shiv Sena, BJP, and the Parsi Sena, which of course, albeit has only 4 members, and all sparsely located from different parts of India, so they can't meet. And have to do Zoom calls for their, every time they have a Parsi Sena day, everyone's on Zoom because there's so few of us. Jai Hind!
But that's just dumb, right? I mean, like, why would you have a 40% party? I mean, that's just asking for stupid. That's just
So
asking
I guess they had like 8 people a couple of days or whatever, and then they got emboldened, and then you step by step, suddenly say let's have a full-fledged party. So I think they were having, from what I've been told, having a series of whatever, dinners or. It's a tough one, but 40 people really is bad maths.
No, even I mean, like, so I had to go to my dentist for
your teeth, I hope.
Yeah.
How cheap are you? Every time you have herpes, you can't go to the dentist.
No.
By the way, he's a dentist.
One sec. What
Abbas
dentist
is a
is?
dentist.
Are you telling me a dentist is cheaper than a fucking doctor? Then you're out of your mind. If you think a dentist is cheaper than a doctor.
Listen, I asked for insurance for homeopathy, so don't argue with me. When it comes to cheap, I wrote the book. But we have a dentist. Once you finish your point, we have to get his reaction because he's from a family of dentists and he himself is half a dentist. So
that's true. That's right.
I have a full-fledged dentist in the house right now. I'm staying with my dad, so yeah.
Right.
Who hasn't gone to his clinic since March, so...
that's a good point. Amit has a desperate situation. He goes to the dentist. So dentists are open, right?
Well, so I mean, like he's seeing limited numbers of patients, which is why it's a lot more. The fee is higher. PPEs are involved, so there's a PPE fee for this.
So again, restraint of trade. The dentist is allowed to go for higher fees to balance out his situation,
right?
But the poor person who's providing service in the building can't earn. That's not fair. I'm not happy.
No, it's not. I mean, I think that we need to be at a point. See, the thing is just this, right? Buildings need to establish protocols for entry and exit. That's what needs to happen. That's the only thing that can happen right now.
So if they're positive, you can put a process in place and follow it and say this is the process. But if every time something happens 5 buildings down or 5 roads down, and it's going to happen, if you react badly to it, I mean, then it's going to be like 1 step forward, 2 steps backward.
It's constantly going to be that. And to think that your building is going to be spared because you're some magical great building, that's stupid, no?
Exactly.
It's going to come into your building also. It is going to come.
The only one who's safe is Silverie at the moment, and I hope he's using protection for something else. You're a comedy breakaway, huh, Silverie? From the seriousness and the angst that at least Amit and I are feeling. Sorry, so back to the dentist. Sorry, we cut it.
Yeah.
So,
no. So I was excited to go and see my dentist because I could talk to him for 20 minutes. It was a new person to talk to face to face. You know, I mean, like, it really was just that. Because I mean, like, it's at an appointment, we couldn't do what we needed to do. So then we had 20 minutes to kill before his next appointment. I was just having a chat with him. It was so nice. Yeah,
well, I had a similar experience, Harkishan Das, in the sense my aunt had a blood pressure issue and I'm the only one who could go to take her there and all that. So actually a lovely couple took her from the building because she's from Colaba and spoke to all the doctors and nurses there because they're all bored out of their minds and overworked. And they were all seeing the biggest fear now because Ketwadi is right there, where my father was born by
Right.
And that's where they're getting a lot of cases in that Harkishan Das Reliance area. And the problem that they are worried about is that it's become a lower middle class disease now. And that's why, you have this reaction towards the service people coming in and out. Because it's almost like the disease is going, because India is a class society, a caste society, following the same perimeters.
The disease is for every class. We need to point fingers at someone, so we are pointing it.
But it visits differently. It's almost like now it's had its fun with a certain class, then it'll go to the next class, the next class. So it was almost a little ironic and a little funny. Black, not funny. Blackish funny, I don't know. Black is not the right word to use now, so that's not funny. So brownish, no. Whatever, some color. United colors are better than funny.
Have you guys noticed since yesterday, Instagram stories reactions have added a black heart to react, which I don't get.
Yeah, I don't get. Although we need it, the most racist country I know is India. I think Amit will be the number one guy to discuss this, being both American and Indian, actually having perspective of many years in both countries. But I don't think there can be a more racist country than India. Honestly.
I think we're very, very ingrained with the idea of differences between things, right? Differences between races, but differences between classes, differences between... we're casteist, right? I mean, like, as much as we'd like to think that we're not...
in every
we are. I mean, like,
sphere.
We find slicing people and then kind of like, putting them into a group and then being part of that group or making fun of that group, depending on that, right? That's something which we find very affirming, which is... nonsensical and irritating and stupid and all that.
Beautiful. It's like a domino effect. Whatever it is will further subdivide.
Yeah.
You say, okay, Hindu-Muslim solved. Now we'll find fat thin. That's solved. Now we'll find rich poor. There's always something else. We'll keep going.
I talk about the Jain thing all the time, right? Like, I mean, like, so first Jain is an offshoot of Hindu, right? Now within Jain you have Shwetambar and you have Digambar. Now within Shwetambar, which is, I know my line a little better. I'm sure Digambar has the same kind of thing. But within Shwetambar you have Deravasi and Stanakvasi. We have Deravasi. Within Deravasi you have 1 Tithi and 2 Tithi, which means that basically people who believe in dates can repeat themselves or dates cannot repeat themselves.
Wow.
Right, and all of these people hate each other,
and it's a religion of love and tolerance, as are all religions in any case. Yeah. That's another irony. Actually, everyone talks about peace, love, brotherhood of man, and then bang, bang, bang. I hate human beings, and I really hate my class. At the moment, I hate my class. I feel like a cannibal. I want to
No,
hurt them.
I'm so disgusted with some people in my building about this. It's the same exact stuff, right? I mean, like, it's just disgusting the way they're behaving
No,
about
and
this.
Amit, so I have a person who wants to feed poor people in Dharavi and all that. Let's collect some clothes and all for them. What about the guy who works for you?
Yeah.
What about the watchman you didn't want to come back into the building because he went to his gaon? What about all the other people? You don't care about anybody else, but you want some. Everybody likes strangers. Let's go help strangers. Let's give policemen far away some mangoes. I'll carry it in my car. Wow, acts of charity. It begins at home. They do nothing about the people here.
It's all virtue signaling.
Yeah. Sorry, Abbas wanted more comedy. He's a little upset. After 3 months,
I thought after a long
Brocha's
time.
there. I'll have some light-hearted conversation. And now he finds mad Brocha, the Parsi genes have taken over. He's just ranting and raving. He's like a crazy man in Dadar Parsi colony, screaming, "Band karo, gaadi band karo!" from upstairs. They get angry if you even start the engine, by the way.
Yeah.
Motorbike engine and boom, tempers fray. Silverie, you got into a sulk. What happened?
No, nothing. I was just thinking, this entire thing is like, watchmen have never had more authority on our lives. Like every time someone comes to visit you, you're more worried about, what will the watchman say? You're letting people into
Will he allow you in?
Yeah, he's like,
Absolutely.
really allow you in. That's such a pain. Watchmen have never dictated the direction our lives
Imagine,
take.
you're like Mukesh Ambani, you're coming back home and the watchman doesn't know and he's like, 1 minute. Temperature.
Yeah.
98.9. Last chance.
Yeah.
It's true. But again, I'm saying if there's a process and people follow it with a little discipline, if you're more Germanic in that sense, I think we'll be able to overcome a little bit of what's happening here. But what's happening is everybody's going into panic and fear, paranoia, and then it's just self-preservation and so much for that. It just exposes us.
But so Cyrus, people are panicking, but they're panicking without the science to back it up in some ways,
Ostrich
right? When
mentality.
you look at the, I mean, like there is there's a saying which I think I heard in the first time in the Freakonomics books, right? That anecdotes are not data. Right, and we have anecdotes over here where we look at
Very
our
good
neighbors.
point. Let me learn that. This is a Premchand moment. Anecdotes are not data. I'm going to put that on the building chat.
Yeah.
Who do I quote? Give me a German name that sounds pompous. Karl Heisenberger. That's it. I've got the
No,
name.
but my point being that anecdotes are not data, right? And so when we hear about, this happened in this building next to us, we look at that in isolation and that takes on an outsized importance to us, right? But if you look at what's happening as a country as whole, we had, I think, some 12,000 infections come in yesterday on a base of 3.5 lakhs. We had the increased number of active cases as something like 1,500 or 1,600, right? Now, that's a number, 1,500 or 1,600 increasing active cases is a number that's been consistent for quite a while.
Yeah.
What that means is that the number of active cases that we have is not multiplying. It's not the rate of increase is not high. What we have
It's
is
almost a good
consistent
sign.
It's basically it's not as bad a sign as it could be. We're not seeing out of control growth.
Also, Mumbai's recovery rate has gone up to 51%.
That's what I'm
You know,
saying.
these
The
are-
daily, so there was a updating, right? Doubling number that you get. How quickly does this active
That slowed
number
down.
double?
Yes, that slowed down.
So that number went from like some 18, 20 days, like 15 days ago to like 40, 45 days right now.
Correct. Which is a great sign.
Which is a great sign. So I mean, like, and to now start panicking when this shit is going down and when you have good news seems just counterproductive.
No, give me that line again. That line is beautiful. I want to teach it to everybody in the world. Anecdotes are not data because it's exactly that.
Yeah.
You absolutely put the worm inside the hole and then dropped it for the fish to eat, which is a German Karl Heisenberger phrase. No, but that's it. Because what they're doing is they send, I'm sure you guys are going through all of this at the same time in your, because this is almost generic to everywhere. They send the message of X building, 9 people, 4, and I'm telling you that the people who provide service came in without being verified and checked, and this is why such and such has spiraled. Okay? It's just anecdote. That's it.
It is.
And the perspective what Amit has just provided, if they put that. But guys, do you know that our doubling has gone down from about 9-10 days a month ago? It's almost 40 days now, which is fabulous maths.
Yeah.
And the fact that we are over 51% in recovery, which is very good maths. That news is, which is the more heartening and actually the better, and the data is not out there. What's out there is this one bloody statistic from one building.
Well, it's annoying, man. I don't even know what else to say other than.
But above all, just the selfishness and the disconnect. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be part of this group. I don't mind being evil, but this is this pretend good. Pretend good is the worst. Because just self-preservation is what they're all about. Save me. That's it. Save me. I mean, not one thought about that poor lady who cleans your house, who has nowhere to go to, and now 3 months later has no money, can't reach her gaon or native place either, and it doesn't have give her the self-respect of work. Work is everything. Without work, who are you? The only person who's happy with that work is Dr. Vijay Mallya's son, Siddhartha. And that's different because, it comes from a different, due respect, lovely guy. I wish I was him. But I just,
Don't we all?
right to work. Restraint of trade is a terrible, terrible act. I mean, even Srishant, after all that he went through, has been brought back by Kerala Cricket Association, will play Ranji Trophy next year, if there is one. Okay, at the age of 39. Which means restraint of trade. In spite of what he has done, he served his sentence and now he has to play. You cannot do anything beyond that. How dare you? It's fascism to another degree. An economic deprivation is the worst way. Better to kill a guy, no? 6 months of no food, morally decrepit. Now my words are failing me. Losing his confidence, self-esteem, self-respect, place in society. What happens next? The kids, the family, the seniors. Gotta think about all this. But Tarini Heights or whatever the damn building's name is, 40,000 people have it, even though only 1,000 live there. God! Silverie, let's get a gun. This is how movements start.
Yeah.
We don't have a movement. See, Black Lives Matter and all, it's not touched us enough. So now we have to say rich lives don't matter and start killing them.
Yeah.
Who's with me?
Everyone, let's go. Let's do it.
Bang! But never, two lovely sentences. Anecdotes aren't data. I'm going to take that with me and I'm going to spend it everywhere as
So, but
coinage that has to be
that's one of the other paranoias, right? I mean, I'm one of my friend, well-to-do friend, was
Yeah.
like, what if these workers turn on us and then start looting our houses and
Abbas.
our shops?
Abbas, really, I mean, Salim Javed stopped writing in the 90s or something. No, enough. We have those scripts.
I'm sorry,
When
but
the
that's a degree
evil
of
zamindar is beaten
illusionary-
up by the poor Garib working in the house. We have those scripts. They're there. Huh?
No, but that's a degree of delusion, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I mean, like, you think that just because somebody comes from a disadvantaged circumstance, they're going to start getting violent as soon as, like, I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, like, if that were to be the case, then India would be on fire all the time.
Yeah.
In fact, we've not had a revolution because the poor people, or rather, that's a terrible phrase to use, the people who are less privileged have not gone berserk ever. They've accepted their lot. Otherwise, this country should have had revolution after revolution. Look at any part of the world, South America, Africa, everywhere. Only poor country in the world where basically there's never been a revolution. ठीक है, ये अपना कर्मा है, यही करूँगा, whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy.
But it's actually a
sad.
destructive element of our society. I mean, not that I'm calling for revolution, but it is
No,
a
you're right.
destructive. It is a destructive element of our society.
To accept
The
is almost like a
acceptance.
violence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The degree of acceptance people have for their own fates is.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we are now sounding like philosophers beyond the pale. Look at the language we're using. Anecdotes aren't data. That's the name of this show. I'll say 10 times on this show. I'll sound like Ornob, but from the center. Not as the center, because that's also Ornob. Oh God, I'm confused. I mean central philosophy. So we
What
take a break, guys?
What happened to Arnab's second police interrogation? The one that just happened last week. I heard that was going to happen, and then I lost the news. I never saw what happened after that.
Yeah, well, the 3,000 policemen are infected. So I think they pushed that on the back burner. They've got serious stuff to deal with in the meantime.
I guess
Poor
that's true.
guys. They're caught in the middle of this. And I don't know how that's going to turn out. All this small... We'll talk about that when we come back.
yeah.
We'll take a quick break.
Yep.
Abbas, are you cool to take a break?
Yes, I am. If I say no, will you not take a break?
No, but I just, by nature, I thought you would call out and say, okay, guys, let's take a break. Because
Yeah, I've lost the habit now. Silver
it's been a long break, that's why.
Yeah.
Huge.
You need to watch the Habit Coach on our network.
All right, we'll come back in a second.
I want to thank Intel for supporting our show. Do you remember when last year we spoke about how the Intel vPro platform is built for business? Well, I'm glad to say we've kicked things up a notch. That's right, Intel is back with a new and improved version of the platform. Optimized with 10th generation Intel Core processors, the platform is just what IT and business users need, especially in times like now when most of us are working from home. The new Intel vPro platform lets you do more of what you want and less of what you don't. So it's better for you and for your IT teams, who really are the backbone of keeping your work from home experience easy and enjoyable. The platform is built to minimize your efforts and maximize your PC productivity, especially when working from home. I can safely say that the new vPro platform gives you more enterprise efficiency with less constraints. Visit intel.in/more with vPro, that's VPRO, to discover how you can get more done with less waiting. If you're listening on the IVM Podcast Android app, take a look at the screen right now and you'll see a link which will take you directly there.
And we're back after another enforced break of, 12 weeks now it will be this week. 12
3
weeks.
months, man. Quarter of the year. That really hit me yesterday. 1/4 of the year is gone. I've been out of the house 10 times in this 3 months.
No, I've been out every day, but then I'm...
You have a dog?
myself.
No,
I have a
you have
dog. But also, Amit, I feel claustrophobic. You know, I try to tell my mother, come on the damn terrace and walk, but she's so scared because of this media bashing that I can't even get her to think straight. Kunal, we went to meet someone in Walkeshwar over some work, and it was a face-to-face meeting, 3 people in the house. He said, come and all. Kunal's paranoid, washing himself everywhere and all that, but you know, I mean, just be normal. Just
I think that degree of I think that degree of caution is appropriate, right? I mean, like you go to somebody's house.
Fear. There's caution, there's fear. You know, I feel bad because there's anxiety all the time. You know, this anxiety has to come down. Otherwise, how will we cope?
So I am walking around with, like, you know, if I ever exit the house, I do go out with my trusty sanitizer, right? I mean, like I do have, like, you know, the medical hospital style sanitizer. So
which I take. Men try to molest you. Instead of that spray, you go for your sanitizer.
You start doing it to yourself.
Cyrus, what precautions do you take when you go out? Because you're used to traveling in shorts and all.
Yeah. Shorts, everything does. I don't change my clothes.
Even I travel in shorts. What's wrong with shorts? I'm sorry. No, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Cyrus.
I'm of the thing. I honestly believe, I don't want to sound arrogant, I honestly believe I can't get this disease. Because I'm really, really, you know, I eat from all my life eating from the road. I follow whatever, you know, the rain is on my back when I'm working out. You know, so, you know, for me, personally speaking, I'm like a caveman and it's about playing to my strength. But that's me personally. So I wear the mask on my chin. If somebody passes, I put it up.
I was also pretty cool with like going out in shorts and t-shirts and all of that. But then my sister said you should wear full-sleeved shirts whenever you open the door, wear a mask.
Who are you touching?
But I don't know. But
open the door, also, that's a hand.
Also, because she goes to a hospital every single day, so I think she's more used to seeing people covered from head to toe.
Even when I entered Harkishan Das,
she has that thing in her head.
No, 3 doctors immediately told me to put the mask higher because I can't breathe. I hate putting it on the nose.
Medical personnel, I mean, hats off to them, but they're getting a little putting.
So they are erring on the side of caution. But if I can be the devil's advocate, they have to do that.
They should,
They have to do that. They can't take another stand. Not in this epidemic. Personally, I'll do what I have to do, but I will not disrespect anybody else. So if they're passing me or whatever, I'll make sure I'm fully on.
So, but also your degree of exposure is a lot less than theirs, right? The number of people that they are coming into contact with is much higher.
There's no personal contact. It's just that I walk.
No, but still, I mean, like you're touching surfaces and stuff. So you're not that much, but they are in a space where sick people are coming. So for them to be extremely cautious makes a ton of sense, right? I think that we need to be.
I went to pee because the COVID section in Harkishan Das is bang opposite.
Right.
It's like 20 meters opposite you. Okay, but it's just there. It's not like in Parel. And so when you enter the other side where my aunt was for blood pressure and heart. So you go to this side, you should be okay. But when I went to pee, I was thinking, the same guys clean the toilets.
Right.
Everybody comes to the damn toilet. Everybody touches something in the toilet. You can't not, you try your best not to, but the handle of the door, how do you open it? You can't use your foot to open it and all that. So, the guy goes on cleaning it for what it's worth. But for a second, it gets you that everyone who's sick, everyone who doesn't know they're sick, asymptomatic, visitors who don't know they're sick, everybody comes there. So that's the worst lottery of the lot. So, in fact, the doctor told me after my 3rd visit that why do you have to come? She's okay now. You don't come. You be on the phone and come to discharge her. We're there. We're a good family. We look after them. And so once I said, okay, fine. Because I by nature am a selfish lout. I don't want to go anywhere.
No, but that is something that they are suggesting, right? Visit as little as possible because that's an area. So I have a friend who got infected because I had to go to the hospital for something, right? That's the only time that we can think of that.
He got infected in the hospital?
Well, we're not sure, right? So I was talking to him a couple of days ago, and we were discussing that the infection occurred, and he's asymptomatic, completely fine, no real issue or stuff like that. He had fever for like 2-3 days and then it went away. But as part of that fever, he got himself tested, right? And the thing that he was telling me was that the only thing he could think of is that his daughter had an injury and he had to take her to the hospital. And that's the only time he can think of, because other than that, they're like not leaving the house. Everything's getting delivered. Grocery runs and stuff like that. You're paranoid
point to point, personal contact was less. Can we digress back to the old dentist story of yours, Amit? I want to ask Abbas.
Yeah.
So this is when I just thought of it. Of all the people, the dentist is the guy who's dealing with you with your open mouth, open paws, face, and he has to be close. So with all the protection in the world, that's a bit of isn't that a dangerous situation?
It is.
That is quite dangerous, yes.
So how do they? Do they ask for what do they do? What does the dentist do? I'm saying
they're still figuring that out. There is a new set of instruments that have come into the market, which are more or less COVID proof. There is this whole debate going on that should you ask the patient also to wear the PPE kit along with the assistants and the doctor themselves?
When you open the mouth, what do you do?
That's just something that's just the occupational hazard that you have to take.
Is there a way in dentistry with all the technology we have and all the scholastic ability we have and the breakthroughs in science to operate from the anus?
I'm sure they're looking into it, yes.
I mean, don't laugh. They look at it as a much safer option. The guy bends over.
Well, if the teeth were somewhere around your stomach or somewhere, I would imagine it would be easier. That's a very long journey to make from your ass to your mouth.
Maybe the road less traveled, but ultimately it leads to your mouth. Because from your mouth it goes to your ass. This is something I learned in 4th standard.
Yeah.
And every day I'm reminded of the same. Sometimes more than once. Silverie, are you still with us or you now gone to full coma?
I'm here. Also, Abbas, ass to mouth is not that long a journey.
Come on. Oh my God. Okay, this is why this show is not for 25 and under. 25 and under, buzz off. Go and play with your girlfriend. Let the adults have a conversation. What kind of who said? And your mother watches and you're worried about the girlfriend. Your only contribution has been sexual, disgusting, unhygienic, and frankly banned in many cultures. All right.
He was quiet for the last 15 minutes and then he had to drop this onto the show.
He waited and then he got the deer, finally. Superb. Hey, by the way, we haven't even got into any proper topic. We just started with the and went on.
I think there's only one topic, isn't there?
Basically, man. Everything else
China. I got some emails on our show saying, well done, guys. You're with the same topic 11 weeks in a row. I was just thinking, actually, yes. I mean, as a writer, imagine if I tell you, again, write about the shop. Again, write about the shop. Imagine. But what choice do you have?
But it's so all-consuming, right? I mean, like it takes over every aspect of your life, or lack of life, or however you want to put it, right? It's the number one thing that everything is affected by. Like even everything else that we have to discuss, right? I mean, like I don't remember what Antariksh's all of their topics were today, right? That you had sent across, but there was a bunch of China stuff and stuff like that. But besides that, everything else was COVID related in some way, shape, or form.
And in fact, an insensitive, evil, malicious person, not me, said that the cyclone was like a breath of fresh air. No pun intended. No. What is that ass to mouth incident again? Let's go back to a happy time. But Silverie, I wish I was your age. I think that there's this confidence and recklessness of being young which will help you in these times. The older you get, I see that around the people's reactions is almost correlated to age sometimes. Older, just more tightly wound about this whole thing.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and maybe rightly so. Who knows? Who can say for sure? My beautiful wife has entered the arena. Hi, sweetie. Give us a kiss. Mouth to mouth, Silverie. Mouth to mouth. She hasn't heard the podcast. There's nothing reference. It's nothing. You know how intelligent my conversation is, Aisha. Come on, for God's sake. I wouldn't drop a penny in a barrel. Just hang on there. Aisha, Amit said a very interesting thing. Anecdotes are not data. So you tell your WhatsApp group, anecdotes are not data. Data is different. I'll explain the point. They're sending you anecdotes and they're trying to act tough about anecdotes. Screw them. Give me data. Then I'll discuss things with you. Give me statistics. Not fucking 5 families here and there, you fuckheads. Sorry guys, back here. Sick of them.
I was about to say, I don't know about as to mouth, but you've definitely put your foot in the mouth a lot of times.
which some will say is the same general area. So it's okay.
Oh boy, all right.
Okay. So sorry, where were we?
China.
I don't know.
China?
I also have some, like a very short piece of news, which is non-China related, non-COVID related. So I thought we will start with that. How about that?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a very funny story out from England, some place called Carlisle, Cumbria in England. And the story is...
Now you're making it sound like somewhere in Uttar Pradesh, huh? It cannot be Carlisle, Cumbria. Rishipal Yadav was born. No, it's not that place.
Cumbria ka Mela.
Yeah, I did. Oh, they cancelled the Kumbh Mela. That's another story we should discuss.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, well, they should. I mean, I hope they would.
Of course they should, Amit. The building society wants to stop my maid. But the bloody Kumbh Mela you want? What the hell is going on? I'm out of this place. I can't have an educated conversation with anyone anymore. It's ridiculous. Come here, 50 million people and Congress as much as you want.
Okay.
Sorry, Antariksh, your story, please.
Yeah, the story goes, man with a horse and cart furious after being refused service at a KFC drive-thru. So this guy went to a KFC drive-thru in a horse and a cart, and then he was furious. Okay, hey, how dare you embarrass me by refusing me service?
But what did he do wrong? Where have they written in the rules that it's a vehicle?
I agree with you. I surprisingly agree with
I'm
you.
also on the side of the
because
guy.
once you're in the drive-through, you're no longer obstructing traffic. It's not like the drive-through is going at like 40 miles an hour or anything like that.
Exactly. I mean, come on.
No, apparently he had to wait in the drive-through for his turn to come, and then when his turn came, they refused him. So obviously he'll be pissed off.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, but why did they refuse him? It's like horses.
Because he was on a horse, and
was it a black horse? It must have been a black horse. We live in times where I'm telling you, it's got to do with that.
According to KFC, it was like it's a hazard, a safety hazard for our customers.
How?
Well,
it's a drive-through. All they need to do is, I mean, like, how is it more difficult to hand something to somebody in a car as to hand something on a horse?
And more importantly, with the exhaust, I know they've cleaned it up a little bit, but there's still exhaust fumes coming out of cars.
And horses.
So it gets better because
they're also nightmares in terms of environment. So don't just blame the horse.
The article then says, the guy on the pony says, then I had to go to McDonald's who served me without asking any questions.
Good story.
Can I just say McDonald's has been doing awesome work during this lockdown? It's like the one
all over or just India?
In India. I mean, like, you know, from a food delivery perspective, everybody else is screwing up all over the place. McDonald's is like on target every time.
And like, may I just say that if anyone had to worry as a group, it was McDonald's during COVID because they are led by old McDonald, and as you know, that's the age group that they just basically back to the mouth. Silverie saved the show. Some sexual position that I have not tried yet. Please. He's laughing. He's a veteran. The youngster's a veteran now.
Antariksh's family WhatsApp group is going to explode after this episode.
Oh yeah.
But it's not about his live-in situation. It's about how does he know all these positions? Because back in the Punjab there were 3 positions as told by the government, and you stick to that. All right, sorry, we're in the middle of a new topic, and then we again cut it.
Yeah, that's okay. I think we're done with the fast food topic.
Yeah. Just one more. There was like so they had taken a photo of this person in next with his horse and cart outside KFC, and the caption under the photos just said, "He just wanted a bargain bucket." And this is a really sad photo of them.
Horses don't eat chickens anyway, so that could have been a proper point if I was a lawyer for the defense. I'd be like, horses don't eat chickens, so what's he doing here? You know, and that is acceptable. Fair enough. Sad story.
KFC's response was also pretty snide. It was like something like, please get off your high horses or something like that.
KFC's got the best social media. Like, seriously, from a social media perspective, their accounts have always been amazing. So they did this one thing once, which I thought was really cool. So they have 7 herb chicken. Which is like one of their it's one of their things, and what they had done is they had followed only 7 people named Herb as part of their kind of this, right? So I mean, like, everybody else they unfollowed and only followed these 7 people named Herb, and they do a lot of stuff like that. So I mean, like, it's always been a fun social media account.
Did you guys see the Taco Bell incident?
No, what was that?
What is
So the employees at Taco Bell it was mandatory for them to wear face masks. So one of the African American employees there wore a face mask that said Black Lives Matter, and he was fired because they said that you're bringing politics into the workplace. So this whole thing is on video, his whole altercation, and the irony is that 3 days before this happened, Taco Bell had put out a message on their social media saying they support the Black Lives Matter movement.
Of course.
Yeah, but if I'm looking at from a point of view of commerce, when you politicize things, whatever, supposing
but how is this politics?
Even an issue which is there's no contest like racism. The moment you start doing that, you're going to, bring another sort of vibe into the place, and it might kill people coming in for business saying, oh, I don't want to get involved. This kind of thing is happening. It's not impossible to put that together. So without taking the side of the owner, I'm just saying if they could tone down the protest, it would make a little sense. If it starts becoming overwhelming, it does destroy the product a little bit, or the productivity. It could. So just from a pure point of commerce.
It's also possible that it's just not part of their uniform, right? At Taco Bell.
No,
you can't wear an extra mask. Like they'll give you a Taco Bell.
That's the thing.
Where do you draw the line?
I saw the video where the employee is putting his case forth to the guy who's firing him. They were told that you can wear a mask with any design, with any kind of whatever on it, And when he's arguing with him, he says, no, you were asked to wear plain masks. So there's a bit of a gray area there. So, yeah.
No, but then where do you draw the line? You allow Black Lives Matter. The next guy says left matters or communism forever.
Yeah.
The next guy gets personal and promotes one politician in the area. So, where do you draw the line? That's a bit of a tough one now in a commercial establishment.
But doesn't this kind of also fall in like if someone wears a turban because his religion dictates him or her?
No, but when you hire him, you'll know that.
No,
you hire him, you make a decision.
A slogan is different than a piece of clothing which is religiously sanctioned. I still don't have an issue with it, and I think that the guy who made them take it off is wrong. Because I think that also it doesn't make sense if people are wearing a mask of some nature which is open, which is not part of the uniform. If you're supposed to wear your own personal thing, then part of wearing your own personal this is to have your own personal kind of statement to make around that.
Why didn't he just simply go to the employer and say, I'm going to wear this as a mark of protest, the whole world is protesting,
because
so I'm going to keep a black...
So the thing is that Taco Bell is a franchise operation, right? And so the franchisee is his
follow
boss.
The rules.
It's not Taco Bell. His boss is the person who has taken the franchise from Taco Bell. Correct. Now, he probably didn't want to go to his boss because most of these franchise owners are small businessmen. It's like mom and pops, right?
And I'm telling you, the first reaction is don't do it because I don't want to be involved. Everybody's first reaction is
the first reaction, where did this happen?
I am not sure about that. I have to check.
The first reaction could be that reaction could be no, not Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter. That could have been the first reaction. We don't know who the owner of the franchise is, right? The owner of the franchise could be somebody who was of that All Lives Matter.
Maybe a neo-Nazi.
You don't know.
Karl Heisenberger, my friend.
Did you guys? So there was a really funny story, not funny, but weirdest story that happened a couple of weeks ago during this Black Lives Matter when it first flared up, right? I'm sorry, NBA diversion, but the story is not about the NBA. It's NBA adjacent. Sacramento Kings, right? The franchise owned by by the Indian owner, actually, Vivek Ranadive. They have an announcer who's been the announcer on their television channel for the longest time. Superstar from Sacramento Kings, once this Black Lives Matter protest started, tweeted at this guy, "What do you think of Black Lives Matter?" Right? And he tweeted back, "All lives matter." Right? And immediately the Kings guy underneath said that, as expected. And then this guy got fired because like 3 or 4 other people said that this guy is absolutely...
Which guy got fired?
The announcer.
For saying all lives matter?
Yeah.
It's a bit rich.
No, it's not.
What does it mean? It doesn't necessarily mean a negative comment.
But there is a certain connotation.
There is a context to this right now. Right? When you're saying Black Lives Matter and
but
all lives matter...
You made this into now a right-wing agenda again. Because now it's almost like you're with us or against us. You see, this is my big problem with thought. I don't like that. It has a violence to it.
No, so Cyrus,
all lives matter is okay.
I agree with you.
It doesn't mean that black lives don't matter.
No, I agree with you that people should have the ability to say what they want to say. But today, in this context, when somebody says Black Lives Matter, and you say all lives matter are in opposition to that, there is a very specific context to it.
Ridiculous.
No, there's a context to it. Yeah?
But this is worse than India. I'm not going to America. They will clean this up.
No, but there is a context to this, right? I mean, like
there is a context to it, but you can't decide end people's jobs and all over every little thing like that. You can't.
No, but I mean, like in this case, you are an announcer who is announcing for the NBA. Who this player knows you're a racist, which is why he's deliberately setting you up.
Then it's got to do more than with the answer. That's a different story altogether.
It is. This player knows that you are somebody who has had extreme problem dealing with all of the black NBA players who have been in Sacramento.
Why would you be an announcer in the NBA if you're racist? When 85-90% of the people are colored.
You're making money.
Because most places don't know that they are racist.
The people that represent that entire industry, in a sense, is ridiculous. It's like Abbas not liking untalented people in Bollywood. What the hell?
That's all of
who will be left with?
but I mean, like it is really that though, right? I mean, like you can't if you are saying all lives matter in reply to Black Lives Matter. Okay, that is you're signaling what your beliefs are at that point in time. Today, you cannot say that you are ignorant of that.
It's the tone, because that line is interpreted very differently. It could be like I'm pouring scorn on your Black Lives Matter by saying it, as you mentioned, and he has an issue being in his bonnet, so hence it makes sense.
Right.
It could also mean that, hey guy, I'm Swami Cyrus here, and I'm saying all lives matter. Cool down. Everybody matters. Yeah. Let's stop racism. It doesn't necessarily have to be an aggressive answer.
No, Cyrus, the example that exemplifies this is that if someone whose leg is hurt if a person asks an able-bodied person to call an ambulance and the able-bodied person says, hey, what about my leg? What about my perfectly fine
this metaphor
leg?
is a little
Right?
far-fetched.
Okay, I'll give you a more appropriate one. Breast cancer benefit. Okay, there's a breast cancer benefit going on, or there is some particular kind of cancer benefit going on, and somebody says that support people suffering from breast cancer, and then in opposition to that, you say, no, not just breast cancer, all cancer matters, right? That's the analogy.
But there's nothing wrong in that thought. But you say, look, we must support breast cancer, but let's not forget the other cancers.
Exactly, no, but right now,
so it's how you word it. It's the same
what we
thought.
are talking about right now is breast cancer.
Fair enough, but after saying that, he can, as an aside, also mention the other cancers are also out there. Let's also, once we finish with this, let's deal with that as well. In this case, if the guy's a racist and his reaction was trying to be wink, wink, nudge, nudge, trying to be funny, then that's a racist comment, clearly.
But in this context, right? I mean, like when you know the context of what's going on in this stuff, right, and you have to be aware of it, given the fact the kind of riots that were going on, given the fact that the kinds of commentary that was out there, you're not unaware of this, right? Anybody who is talking about anybody talking about all lives matter in opposition to Black Lives Matter knows what they're doing.
Okay, so in basketball terms, let's call it a layup because
let's call it a dunk. He got dunked on, actually.
Okay, he got dunked on or thrown off. Does the referee throw you off in basketball?
Yeah, of course you get ejected. 2 technical fouls eject you. Touching a referee will eject you.
Okay, don't give us a whole lecture on basketball. My foundation.
Coming back in a month.
Yeah.
Right. So now shall we go to the AMAs? Now that all lives sort of matters. No, sorry.
Yeah, Cyrus, it's like when you do an ad for your podcast, someone just says all podcasts matter. Like,
in that case, it would be the right thing to do. So, point is well made. Yeah. A quick last point on this. First, let me tell you, as a big West Indies lover, I'm a huge fan of the black man, and I've grown up, with Viv Richards as my idol. So let's be very clear about that. But I do think that everything in the world gets corrupted when you take it to an end. Everything, all the movements of the world, their purity is gone. You just become a bunch of looters. You're just standing around drinking because that's the fun thing to do, standing in a crowd. And it gets corrupted. The order gets corrupted, so to speak. So I'm just a little worried about that.
I agree with you. I have no patience about the looting and stuff like that. I think that was bullshit, right? I mean, to kind of destroy private property of people was ridiculous. And I don't have much patience with the arguments that people make about historic oppression and stuff like that. No, I'm sorry. That I don't have patience with those arguments.
It's like the Babri Masjid thing. You can't take things back 700-800 years because there's no way to redress it.
Yeah. That I'm in agreement with. But I mean, also, I do think this, Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter, it's said in a specific way.
In the context you put it in, this guy was trying to be couldn't hold back because deep down, obviously a racist and couldn't stop himself, which is what happens, I think. Yeah. So let's end it there because we have to eat lunch.
By the way, the Taco Bell thing happened in Ohio, Youngstown, Ohio. I just looked it up.
Youngstown, Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay, lots of Ohio is to Youngstown, Ohio in the office.
Yeah.
Youngstown, Ohio used to be a massive mafia base, massive operations for the mafia used to happen in Youngstown.
Yeah. Where you learnt about that sexual technique you mentioned earlier in the program.
Exactly,
You forgot to make a payment on time. You were introduced to the Sicilian way of lovemaking.
Kumail Nanjiani used to do this joke in his stand-up. He used to come on stage and he used to say, ladies and gentlemen, I come from a place that you won't be able to point out on the map. That's right, Ohio. Because you expect him to say Pakistan.
Correct. Yeah. He's great. I like Kumail.
Yeah.
Can we start with the AMAs?
Yes, let's go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Paytm Money and Intel. We appreciate their support. It's been a fantastic week on the IVM network. I hope that you've been checking stuff out, but some of the highlights that you definitely should check out. Ashish Vidyarthi, host of Begin the Journey, was on Cyrus Says. They had a really fun conversation. I think you'll enjoy that. Uncle Please Sid did an episode around development, which was really, really fun. On Edges and Sledges, we had Adam Holyoke, former England captain. While those guys are killing it one cricketer after the other. Definitely do check out Advertising is Dead. We talk about esports with some really guys who really know that space. Smile India, absolutely right. These guys are killing it as well. So is Pawan at Pragati. Don't forget the original things. Again, one of my favorite shows. You must check that out. It's just been a really fun week, folks. I hope that you enjoy it. And with that, let's get you back to your show.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
Alright, the first one comes in from Snehal. She says, "Hello Cyrus and team. I'm from the post-MTV generation, meaning I was born but was still watching Pogo and Cartoon Network at the time.
Nice.
So I literally discovered Cyrus on this podcast, which is great. This is a slightly serious question.
I had a Pogo stick. I mean, to be totally frank, got one. For many years I had it in the house. I don't know where it is now. Yeah.
Okay. This is a slightly serious question, but I'd like to have your light-hearted take on this. According to you, what will be the must-have skills a decade down the line? Like for us, writing by hand was a must. Now it's more like typing speed. Next generation might never even learn how to write. So what do you think?
This is the most dangerous question I've ever heard in my life. Because I'm worried about next week at the moment. 10 years down the line is so far away. I'm just trying to open the studio and do a podcast from there, for example. But let me go to my tech wizard, Mr. Amit Doshi, who will have a better idea.
You know what?
Could you predict a world 10 years
So can I tell you what I think is the most important skill, which is actually what we have been talking about quite a bit, or that's become your new favorite catchphrase? Anecdotes are not data. The fact is data analysis, right? Being able to look at sets of data and understand what's happening with that. I think that's the most important skill going forward.
And that will define what you do. Everything will be because of
I think
based on
everything
data.
will be that because the amount of data as a society we're collecting across all different kinds of things, right? Whether it is your email traffic, whether it is your purchase history. Our purchase
just go
history
to a
has never
restaurant,
been
people
more-
go on Yelp and these kind of things and figure it out.
Yeah.
Just the old process is going to the restaurant.
Yep.
You know.
So just the amount of data out there, the amount of data about yourself you'll be able to capture, the amount of sensors that will be out there capturing data about yourself automatically to be able to make sense of that data. It does not mean that I'm not saying you need to be a data scientist, but you need to be able to analyze data to an extent.
I'm a little old-fashioned. I'm hoping that whole AI movement goes a little forward, or rather goes backward, because that's how we were raised in movies in the 90s, etc. Where we had these robots who do things for us and all that, and the artificial intelligence is everywhere, so that people like me who are basically so lazy, you know, if you want to move the remote into your hand, or you get the robot to change everything for you, you just have to, with your mouth, say robot or whatever, and it's done. I was just hoping for great artificial intelligence to take over, so my work is so minimal.
The Roomba has been unavailable since the lockout started. Every time it comes available for like even a couple of hours, sold out like immediately.
Really?
Yeah. Because dude, people don't want to wipe, don't want to clean their floors. They want the Roomba. They want something that's just going to go around all day and just
But what's wrong with that, Amit? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with
I
that?
think it's amazing. I'm just saying that we're already getting to that space, right?
Now, I'm just saying, so that's you're sorted, right? You don't need humanity for anything after that, except servicing, I suppose. And then basically everything is done by this. Yeah, what about like for female companionship? A female robot who loves you.
Antariksh,
Everything
this is your
she agrees. You come in and say, all lives matter, and she's like a black robot, and she says, yes, because you programmed her. So I'm just saying, warp people everywhere. Okay, next question, please.
This one comes in from Umesh Sable. He says, "Hi Cyrus, Silverie, Amit and guest," which is Abbas. Hey, Abbas. My name is Umesh Sable from Aurangabad. I'm a big fan of the show. My question to you is, which of the following situations would you like to be in? He's given 3 different situations. They are kind of not related to each other, but you'll see how it goes. So, which of the following situations would you like to be in? Number 1, being invited as one of the panelists on Arnab Goswami's show. Would you guys go for this?
Probably
What's the point? Someone like me who likes to talk, what will I do there? I'll just put your hand up all the time. Excuse me, may I? I mean, what's the point? Pointless.
Okay. Abbas, Amit?
No.
They won't get a chance.
Probably, I don't know, unlikely.
If they think I don't let you talk, you're with a king. The man who started it all. His kingdom is called Bolti Band for you. It's called that.
I might though. I mean, like at the end of it, I don't see myself as a commentator. I see myself as somebody who has to promote a business. He has an audience. I'd go and promote the audience. I'd go and promote podcasts over there. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah. He doesn't even give you conveyance. I won't go. I'm too cheap.
Okay. Now
Next.
the second option is driving your car and finding out 2 bikers are riding their bike very slowly in front of your car while talking to each other.
Oh God, this happens all the time. Well, in a fair world, if everything was good and I was king, I would kill them. I would just completely kill them. I wouldn't even blow the horn. I'd be like, bang, bang, but you can't do that, and you should never talk like that because we're not beasts. So I would just probably hit one of them with the mirror. I'm very good at all that. I know how to use my car well. Ultimately, you have the weapon. Their weapon is smaller. But God, I hate that. I totally hate that. Don't start me off with bikers.
It's extremely aggravating. I mean,
it's so arrogant. It's so arrogant. Like they can just chat, and behind doesn't really matter what's going on. I mean, we all like Sholay. We all seen the movie. But if you watch closely in the beautiful song Ye Dosti, as it's picturized, there is no other traffic really. There's one Parsi gentleman whose thing they steal in the middle. That's it. Yeah. That's how the whole thing begins. But other than that, there's really no traffic.
Yeah. This two-bike thing is even worse than the rickshaw pushing the other rickshaw with one foot. Because that is a necessity. This one they're doing it on purpose. That's a necessity.
So, it's wrong that they aren't trying to go to the side of the road, but at least they're in a desperate situation. Here, what? Yeah. One arrogant guy with the other arrogant guy. 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. How much time?
The third question is, or would you like to having to watch the whole film Gully Boy without skipping? That's just what I think.
That is only Cyrus's problem.
One second, guys. The second question, we should have had a biker to answer. And out of the 4 of us, nobody's really a biker. Silverie, are you a biker?
Not really, no.
So that because it's not fair, because we have to hear their perspective. But we'll save that for another day. We must get a biker on the show and ask him all these questions.
Correct. But the question is, if you're driving your car and finding out 2 bikers are riding in front of you anyway. So we are driving.
No, but let's hear their perspective. Why did they do that? I would love to have a biker.
Cyrus, we can't because you killed the bikers.
No, that's only in my fantasy. In my fantasy, I have sex with all the Miss Jamaicas in the last 40 years. No. Okay, let me get back to you. Update my fantasy 1 sec, please.
So it'll be great if any of our biker listeners sent in answers as to why they do that, right?
I'm saying let's get a biker on our show. Because someone has to answer these questions in an ordinary fashion.
Okay, cool.
It's a whole subculture which is being
Shravan for this. Shravan rides a bike.
Oh, yeah, Shravan.
But Shravan will start punching you. He's got a violent temper. Silverie. Oh, what's the next one?
Okay, those are the 3. The first one was being invited to Arnav's show. Second was driving behind while 2 bikers in front of you. And the third one was watching the whole film Gully Boy without skipping.
Right.
So would you?
I'm one of the few who didn't like Gully Boy. So I watched it.
Really? You didn't?
I don't like that kind of music. It bores me, man. I just can't bear that rhythm and poetry.
It's not so much about the music. It's about this movie itself, right? It's a good movie here.
Underdog story.
Yeah. I don't know. It just didn't move me enough.
Fair enough. To each their own.
Worst thing to say.
So which of the 3 would you prefer to do? Go to Arnav's show or the bike thing? Or
I'm gonna have to go to Arnav's show.
Third one.
Yeah.
Watch Gully Boy.
It's like a known devil.
Breaks.
I can't sit through Gully Boy. This is too much for me. Then I have to pay for popcorn and all that. There'll be no end to it. The whole cycle of viciousness, and I'm not doing that.
Hey, you can add beats to while Arnab is shouting. Then you will have Gully Boy featuring Arnab.
No, I will take notes. Because you guys say I talk too much. I'll be like, the master's at. Let me learn even more about how to stop people from answering my questions. Because I answer them myself. See, I just keep talking, but his thing is he asks the question and he answers it, which is different.
Yeah, correct.
Literally, like, oh, boss, you tell me, how did your hair fall? I'll tell you. What? Why did he even bother calling you? Right. Back to the 4th one. 2 minutes.
That's it. There were 3 options. The 3 options.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right. Guys, it's been a wonderful show. I think we should end it while it's still good and hot. Over the shoulder of young Abbas, I can see a lovely balcony.
Yes.
Obviously, a very big house. No, I'm just saying this is a good time. Silverie's found a girl. It's a good time for you to also settle down. This is a good time to find somebody, settle down, and work on the domestic part of your life.
Did my dad put you up to this?
Thinking aloud, I just think it is. My wife and I have found a lot of happiness now that we are together in the same room every day. Oh God. Oh my God. I've watched so much French cinema, you have no idea. And some aspects of French cinema that people don't know about. Yeah. They actually have scenes where nothing, forget Seinfeld and nothing happens. They actually have scenes where nothing happens. I mean, you don't know the language and you're just reading subtitles, nothing happens. 2 men standing with tapestry everywhere. And that's the highlight, is the tapestry. And they have a conversation of no consequence, going nowhere. And people say, wow, it's like watching 2 bikers sitting in the car behind. That's it. For 1 hour. I got to tell you. So this is a good time to find a girl.
Okay,
just experiment.
Cool.
Find out more about yourself, Abbas. Find the Mrs. Abbas, then get rid of her. And find another one. Keep going till lockdown is over.
I will.
What do you say, Silverie?
Yeah. I think Abbas really should settle down. It's about time.
Is your Priyanka Chopra anywhere close by?
No, she's in the kitchen right now.
Oh, you kept her in the kitchen. Well done. Well done, my Punjabi bro. Well done. Sikao. Lovely. All lives matter. Okay, guys. See you soon.
Okay, see you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
Namaskar, dear Bandhu. My name is Ashish Vidyarthi. These are truly challenging times, and in these times, we need hope. Do take time to listen to my podcast, Begin the Journey. Available on IVM Podcasts, website, app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember, there is hope because there's one life and we are alive.
Janice, what do you think couples did before TV was invented?
I don't know, go for walks on the beach, long drives, fancy dinners, have more sex maybe?
But what did we do when we decided to move in together? We debated between the Chromecast and the Fire Stick.
We gave up on sleeping early so we could stay up watching true crime shows.
We got ourselves 3 cat babies.
And basically became the cutest couch potatoes around.
Okay then.
In case you guys still haven't got it, we are a TV crazy, Netflix loving, binge watching Mr. and Mrs.
I'm Anirudh Guha.
I'm Janice Sequeira.
And if like us, you snort TV for breakfast, lunch and dinner, this is the podcast for you.
Tune in every Thursday on the IVM Podcast app or wherever it is that you get your podcast from. This is
Mr.
and Mrs.
Binge Watch.